All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of the Polly Woodside.
The Polly Woodside.
This incredible ship, it's an iron-hulled, three-masted bark, right?
Yep.
Now docked in Melbourne's South Wharf precinct. And what we found really interesting is that this ship, she really offers this tangible connection to a significant period in maritime history.
Absolutely.
So are you ready to set sail?
Let's dive in.
Okay, great. So one thing that stood out to us is that the Polly Woodside was actually built in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 1885.
Which is interesting because, as you know, that's the same city that a bit later, of course, built the Titanic, right?
Oh, yeah.
It really highlights that incredible shipbuilding heritage of that time.
It really does. And get this, okay? Over her working life, the Polly Woodside traveled, get ready for it, over 1.5 million kilometers around the world.
Ooh.
That's a huge distance. So, our mission today is to really unpack the significance of this historic vessel.
Okay, sounds good.
We want to uncover what we can learn about maritime history, about Australia's past, and these incredible journeys these ships undertook.
Right, and I think it's also important to consider that these iron-hulled sailing ships, they represented a real turning point in shipbuilding technology.
Yeah.
They were so much stronger and more durable than those old wooden ships that came before them.
Right.
And they could carry, way larger cargoes, which totally reshaped global trade networks.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit and go back to her early days.
All right.
So she was originally named after her builder, right? William J. Woodside.
Yep, William J. Woodside.
And she was launched from, and this is a great detail, the Workman Clark Yards in Belfast.
I love those little details.
It's a great detail, right? It just brings it to life.
Yeah, yeah.
So her initial role was as a general cargo ship. Maybe not the most, glamorous start,
Right.
but certainly a vital one.
Oh, absolutely vital. These ships were the backbone of international commerce.
I can imagine.
They were transporting everything.
Yeah.
And what I found fascinating was her significant role in the nitrate trade between the UK and South America.
Interesting. Tell me more about that.
So back then, Chilean nitrates were essential for fertilizers and even explosives in Europe.
Wow.
It was a big deal.
Huge industry.
Yeah, huge.
Okay. So then in 1900, this is a big moment,
Okay.
the Polly Woodside made her first voyage to Australia.
Can you imagine what that journey must have been like?
I know. Months at sea, relying on wind power.
Right. No engines, no GPS.
I mean, talk about a real adventure.
It makes you appreciate how easy we have it today,
It really does. And then New Zealand interests acquired her, and they renamed her Rona.
Rona.
And suddenly, her cargo focus shifted.
It's amazing how these ships adapted to the needs of trade, isn't it?
It really is.
So, under the name Rona, she became really important for the timber trade between New Zealand and Australia.
Okay. Wow.
It really shows you those close economic ties between the two nations, right?
Yeah.
And just how important maritime transport was.
Right, right. So from nitrates and general cargo to timber, and then hold on to your hats, in 1923.
Oh. What happened?
She entered the, let's call it the grittier world of the coal industry.
Oh, wow. Coal. That must have been a completely different experience.
I know. Can you paint us a picture of what that would have been like? What kind of work was she doing?
Well, she was basically servicing bunkering steamships in busy ports like Sydney and Melbourne.
Okay.
So think about it. She was supplying them with, mountains of coal to keep those steam engines running.
Wow.
It was hard work, dirty work,
I can imagine, yeah.
but absolutely essential.
Of course, yeah. And then, like so many ships during that period, World War II came along, and she got involved.
Yes, the Rona, as she was known, then operated in New Guinea during the war.
Right.
We don't have detailed records of her exact activities during that time, but her presence there really highlights how merchant ships were often pressed into service during times of conflict. It speaks to how adaptable these vessels were,
They had to be.
Yeah, they really did.
So after the war, she returned to Melbourne. But her working life was coming to an end, wasn't it?
Sadly, yes.
And in the 1960s, a rather bleak fate was planned for her.
Uh-oh, what was that?
They were going to scuttle her in Bass Strait.
Oh, no. So basically, sink her.
Yep. Just dispose of her.
It's sad how these magnificent ships were sometimes seen as disposable at the end,
It is sad, yeah. But thankfully...
There's a but.
There is. Thankfully, that didn't happen. A group of, I guess you could call them boat enthusiasts stepped in.
Really? Saved the day.
They did. They rescued her.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's where Australia's National Trust got involved. They undertook this, like, massive restoration project.
Oh, wow. So the ship we see today is thanks to them.
Exactly. It was a huge job. It took a lot of time, expertise, dedication.
I bet.
But they brought her back to her former glory. And, as part of that, she got her original name back, Polly Woodside.
I like that. Back to her roots.
It's fitting, isn't it? Then, in 1978, she found her permanent home, docked in Duke's Dry Dock.
And now she serves as this amazing, living piece of history.
She does.
Yeah.
And she's actually received quite a lot of recognition for that.
Allie, what kind of recognition?
Well, in 1988, she was awarded the World Ship Trust Medal.
Now, that's a big deal, isn't it?
It is. Can you tell our listeners why that's so prestigious?
Well, it's a very highly regarded international award, specifically for maritime preservation.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the Polly Woodside was the first merchant ship to ever receive it is huge.
It really speaks volumes.
It really does.
So for anyone listening who might be in Melbourne or planning a visit, you can find her at 21 South Wharf Promenade.
And it's not just looking at an old ship, is it?
No, it's not. It's experiencing history.
Right.
Walking those decks, getting a sense of scale of the complexity of these vessels, it really brings history to life.
It does, doesn't it?
And speaking of bringing history to life, there are some really cool events they hold at the Polly Woodside.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, they have this thing called Pirate Day.
Pirate Day? What's that all about?
It happens on the first Sunday of every month. And they have all these activities like hide and seek, treasure hunts, even deck scrubbing.
Sounds fun.
It does. And it's a great way to get kids or even adults excited about maritime history.
Definitely.
And for those who might prefer something a little more, structured, they offer guided tours on the first Sunday of each month as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and sometimes get the staff dress up as pirates for the tours.
Uh-huh. I love it.
It's great, right?
That's brilliant.
For both the Pirate Day and the tours, booking online in advance is recommended. Just make sure you get a spot.
Yeah, that's good advice.
So let's talk logistics.
Okay.
How easy is it to get to the Polly Woodside?
Well, it's pretty convenient, actually.
Okay.
If you're near Flinders Street Station or Crown Casino, it's about a 20-minute walk along the Yarra River.
Oh, cool.
A nice walk. And if you're coming from Southern Cross Station, it's even closer, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Nope.
What about public transport? Are there any trams or buses that go there?
Yeah, there are quite a few, actually.
Okay.
Trams 12, 96, and 109 all stop at the Casino MC Clarendon Street stop.
Okay.
And from there, it's just a short walk to South Wharf Promenade, where the Polly Woodside is.
Perfect. That sounds pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, lots of ways to get there and no excuses.
Exactly.
So there you have it. We've journeyed from Belfast to Melbourne through the Polly Woodside's incredible story.
We have, haven't we?
We've seen her go from being a working cargo ship, crossing the globe through the timber and coal trades, her time in the war, that near-death experience.
Right.
And her amazing rescue and restoration.
It's a remarkable story of transformation, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. She went from being a workhorse of the seas to a cherished historical treasure.
And a really valuable reminder of our maritime past.
It really makes you think. What other seemingly ordinary objects around us might have incredible stories to tell,
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe an old family heirloom, a tool passed down through generations. It's amazing what you can uncover if you dig a little deeper, just like we did today with the Polly Woodside.
I totally agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed the journey.